Here's your word for the day from Calvary in Lake Havasu. Visit us on the web at calvaryaz.com.
Good morning, Calvary. Welcome to the Word of the Day as we continue in Mark. My name's Tony, and I've got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you don't know how to approach Jesus? Should I do it boldly? Should I be timid? Am I too bad for what's going on? We have a story today of two characters in Mark in chapters 21 through 34 that really set an example for us. So without further ado, let me read the passage and then go through it. In verse 21 it starts, "And when Jesus had crossed again in the boat to the other side, a great crowd gathered about him, and he was beside the sea. Then came one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, he fell at his feet and implored him earnestly, saying, 'My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live.' And he went with him. And a great crowd followed him and thronged about him. And there was a woman who had a discharge of blood for 12 years, and who had suffered much under many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse. She had heard the reports about Jesus, and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, 'If I touch his garments, I will be made well.' And immediately the flow of blood dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. And Jesus, perceiving in himself that power had gone out from him, immediately turned about in the crowd and said, 'Who touched my garments?' And his disciples said, 'You see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you say, "Who touched me?" And he looked around to see who had done it. But the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling, and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, 'Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease.'" What an amazing story of two different ways to approach Jesus. We have Jairus, who's in charge of the synagogue. Some people think he was possibly a Pharisee who knew what was going on, knew who Jesus was, coming to him and saying, "Hey, my daughter is sick. I need you to make her well." And you know, he knew who Jesus was by the way he acted, also because he fell to his knees and implored Jesus. This shows his understanding of who Jesus was as far as being Lord and his power. And he asked him to go with him, and he went. And as he's walking, this woman who was ceremonially unclean, who knew that if she was around people, the people she was around would be ceremonially unclean. What a great word, huh? Including Jesus, or so she thought. But this lady was desperate. In verses 25 and 26, let me read them again because this is so amazing. "And who had suffered much under many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather grew worse." So she came to him in a last-ditch effort and said, "If I just touch him, maybe things will go right." She did, and she was made better. But then Jesus said, "Who did this?" And she was face to face with the Creator of the world. And as in verse 33, it says, "The woman, knowing what happened to her, came in fear and trembling, and fell down before him and told him the whole truth." She knew that he knew what was going on, and expected not mercy and not grace, but expected to be chastised and be given a bad time. But listen to what Jesus says. "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease." So I'm going to tell you, Calvary, regardless of what you think you've done, how you feel about being able to approach Jesus, come to him. Accept him. He will accept you. Let him be your Lord and Savior. Read his word, apply his word, and he will change your life. Have a great day, Calvary.